You may have to fight a battle more than once to win. Margaret Thatcher. My friends, that's called perseverance, sticking with it until you get it. And I say many times each week, just do it. You will get this. Just keep practicing, and when you get it, when you become a charting master, you'll make up for all the time you ever spent. This is time well spent, 10 to 15 minutes each and every day. That's all we ask. Everything is up for today except the S&P 500. It pulled back just a little bit, 0.09%, and that is where we start. By the way, my friends, Patreon members, alert. Please check your emails and the Patreon page, either one. And I always tell you, if you're not getting the emails, let us know. But always check the Patreon page. If you're traveling and aren't getting emails, go there. You'll find everything that we email to you each and every day with the 5-day plus ETF trading analysis and execution plan, as well as the trade execution summary grid for the following day. You will find all of that uploaded at the Patreon page too. Now, I did publish for Patreon members. I also published at X, Charting Wealth, our X account. You will find the most likely outcome for the Fed meeting tomorrow. There's going to be a press conference tomorrow. That press conference will be at 2:30 p.m. And again, we are expecting, well, I'll let you read that for yourself. You will see that a rate cut is expected by all the big guys. We also give you a graphic where we have the ETFs, our 5, the description of course, what they are, what they represent, expected impact from the rate cut, and the rationale and magnitude of the estimates. That is all on today's email for the Patreon members, but I also posted it at our X account, so please refer to that. Now let's talk about where we are as far as moving into that meeting, what we see in these charts. You can see that, again, we're going into our third green candle. As far as the prior high on the S&P, that was back on the week beginning the 27th of October, and that high was 689.70. So far this week, the high is 686.64. Last week, 688.39. So we haven't hit the high of last week yet. You can see the Tuesday, the first day of the latest 2-day candle, is a little weak green candle, just barely green even. That's on the 2-day, so one more day to go. You can see how things have been heading down slowly over the last 2 days. Things bounded down on Monday afternoon, according to the Heikin Ashi candlestick here. We had some volatility, and then sort of a doji in the morning, doji in the afternoon on Tuesday, and overall barely down 0.09%. So we'll see what the S&P, and if indeed what our forecast is here, if that actually happens, how that affects the S&P. Right now, we're seeing about 0.5% to 1.5% of a boost on that. And I look at the backtest accuracy at 68%. I look at the directional probability. It's okay, but not anything great. So again, we'll see what effect this has tomorrow. But we are in the green, and we do. Again, we are overall in a little bit of an uptrend, nothing to write home about. As we look at the NASDAQ, about the same thing. It did move up in the afternoon into the day, 0.12%. Now that's not 1%, that's 0.12%. Okay, so barely up. But again, moving up. The high last week was 628.92, 628.85, so we have moved up a little bit. We haven't hit the high that we saw back on the week on the 27th of October of 637.01. So we've got a ways to go to get back to there. Now, what about bonds? Well, when we look at bonds, and by the way, the NASDAQ is strongly bullish, and our expected impact of the rate cut 1 to 2.5%, and it is showing more bullishness than the S&P. We're also seeing an expected impact from the rate cut of some bullishness in the 20-year U.S. government bond fund, TLT. It is in a downtrend right now. So again, I look at our directional probability when it comes to just our trade execution summary grid. That is bearish still. So I'll be interested to see if the rate cut does occur, what that will do to bonds, if indeed bonds will continue to move down. They were up a little bit for the day, 0.10%. You can see where they peaked up in the morning and then dropped off some in the afternoon, still remained up. Again, 0.1%. So that's just barely. But we are going into the second week of a down move. So we'll see. I mean, as far as volume goes, not a lot of volume this first day of the latest 2-day candle. Hadn't hit a lower low, so maybe it's trying to find a bottom there. We'll see as we move into Wednesday and that statement from the Fed. And where are we on gold? Gold is up for the day 0.5%, just a little over 0.5%. Nowhere near the prior high going back to the 20th of October. Then we had those 2 down weeks, and it's been trying to track up. Last week, the high in gold, 391.74. This week, 388.21. So we've not hit that high from last week yet. We can see a red, pretty much a doji there for the 2 days so far, and a doji in the morning, a little green up candle in the afternoon. Not a lot happening in gold, but it is trending up. And we are showing bullishness on the trade execution summary grid, a little bit more than a coin toss, not a lot. And where does that lead us to with Bitcoin? Well, I keep talking about Bitcoin maybe finding a base here. We see for the prior 3 weeks, not counting this week, but the prior 3, going back to the 17th of November, the week beginning then, the week beginning 24th of November, and the week beginning last week, the 1st of December, we've sort of hit lows around near the same spot. And then we have a green up candle for this week. So we'll look and see if indeed it up for the day 2.53%. Now, if that were the S&P 500, NASDAQ 100, 20-year bonds or gold, we'd be talking about that a whole lot more. But of course, we all know, if you do follow HODL, which is the Bitcoin ETF managed by Van Eck, and again, you're not surprised ever with a move like that. When it's 6, 8, 10%, now that really gets your attention, but it is up. And again, as we look at things, we've pushed clearly through a strong downtrend line. Looks like we could be bottoming, so we'll pay attention to Bitcoin. Might get us into a long position as we get to the end of the week. Let's see how this continues to move. That is where we are, my friends. I hope that we see some accuracy here on our prediction with the Fed. We're, of course, waiting, watching, seeing what happens, and then the impact of that. That'll help us, as we go into more Fed meetings in the future, seeing how accurate that is. So that is where we are. We so appreciate hearing from you. Appreciate all the support from everyone. If you're not a subscriber at chartingwealth.com, that is for free. Every day we send you out 1 email. That's it. That list is never spam, never shared. Please go there and sign up if you appreciate what we do and want to get a special training every day along with our video and the information we send out in that short email. That's only sent out on market days. And of course, at the end of the week, we send you our Market Compass Weekly, which again, there's only 5 emails a week. We never spam. We never share that list. So sign up there. If you want to support us, of course, go to our Patreon page and you'll receive every day our 5-day plus ETF trading analysis and execution plan, along with the trade execution summary grid, giving you the directional probability, the expected move, and the back test accuracy on the 5 charts that we chart every day: the S&P 500, NASDAQ 100, 20-year bonds, gold, and the Bitcoin ETF. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth.